Hey folks, let's talk about these, the Apple AirPods Max. This is the box that they come in. I got them in the space gray, and these are them here in the, what they call, I guess, smart case. And let's get the sort of elephant in the room out of the way. That's the case that they come in. A lot of people say that they hate this case, and I don't really hate it, but I don't really like it either, mainly because it doesn't cover the whole headphones. It only covers like the ear cups part. But also, another negative about this case is when you take the AirPods Max out of the case, if you take them out fast, the ear cups clash against each other. I didn't do it real fast there, but as you can see, if you can probably hear, they kind of clash against each other. So that's something you're going to want to be careful when taking them out of the case if you're in a hurry. The other thing is the AirPods Max don't really go into a sleep mode until you put them in the case. So if you're listening and then you just take them off and just leave them out like this, they're not going to go into a sleep mode for 2 hours. So that's actually taking up some of your battery life if you don't return them to the case immediately. So that's one negative about that. I think that also it's a little bit ugly, the case. It's just a little bit weird looking. And when you have these in the case, it looks a little bit purse-like. Because, you know, like this is the handle and you kind of carry them, you know, like that. It's kind of like a purse. But I think Apple may have done this on purpose, because really there's a history with Apple of opening up third-party markets, you know, for cases. So for instance, like the iPhone, the iPad, there's tons of third-party cases available. So I think it's going to be the same with the AirPods Max. A lot of third parties are going to come out with a lot better cases than the stock case that you'll probably be able to get soon. So in some ways, Apple may have sort of come up with this, you know, stock case on purpose, just because they know that third parties are probably going to come out with AirPod Max cases that are going to be, you know, a lot better. And with regards to storage of these, if you want to actually have something that will protect the entire headphones and not just the ear cups, you're probably going to want to get like a storage bag like this. This is a storage bag that I bought specifically for headphones that I can actually put these into to keep them dust free and stuff like that. So if I can find something like this, I'll try to post a link in the description field, but I don't think this particular one is available anymore. I got it like 10 years ago, but the AirPods Max can fit right in here. And that's how I would store them, either when traveling or even at home, just to prevent them from getting like really dusty and, you know, things like that, or getting, you know, marred up. So are the AirPods Max worth the $550? Actually $600 with tax. Let's talk about the negatives, we'll talk about the positives, and then we'll also talk about how they sound. Well, first of all, in terms of the negatives, the first one would be the case that I just covered. The second one is that they are a bit heavy. So when you wear them, they don't feel real heavy like this, but what happens is if you're lying back or you lie down like on a couch or something, they're a little bit heavy so that they actually fall back and can fall off your head. So that's one negative that I found with these, especially when like lying back on a couch, like watching a movie or just listening to music. And in that respect, I would prefer the AirPods Pro over these, because the AirPods Pro are very light. I mean, they're feather light. You don't even feel them. You just feel them in your ear. But if you can stand to have something in your ear, the AirPods Pro probably will serve you better in terms of comfort, in terms of being able to pretty much go anywhere with them and not really feel them, you know, on your head or anything. You will just feel them in your ear. So that's one negative about these. They are a bit heavy. Now, compared to some audiophile headphones that I've had in the past, like headphones from companies like Audeze, these are actually not that heavy. You know, some Audeze headphones are like double the weight of these. So in that respect, they're not super heavy. But they are heavy compared to the competition, i.e. like Bose noise canceling headphones or Sony noise canceling headphones. These are definitely a bit heavier, and that comes from the build quality of these. They've got the aluminum metal ear cups, as you can see here, which I do think, you know, make them look really, really cool. And you know, the headband itself is metal as well, and the adjustment is just a really nice, almost like a shock absorber type adjuster here that's all metal. It doesn't move around, doesn't clank or anything like that. So, you know, the build quality and design of these is really tops, and you would kind of expect nothing less from Apple. I mean, you are getting for the price more R&D than you are getting with other headphones, you know, with the Apple AirPods Max. So that is definitely a plus for these. And I think they also just look really cool as well. I mean, as you can see here, You know, these are the space gray ones, but you know, they also come in several different other colors. My next favorite color would be the blue, and then they've got a red color, they've got a green color, and they also have a white color. One of the reasons why I opted for the space gray, however, is because they have the dark color ear cups that aren't going to show dirt as easy as a lighter color ear cup, in my opinion. You can also get replacement ear cups fairly easily from Apple. They're $69 for a pair, and these just come off like this, just magnetically. So I'll show you the inside there, and then, you know, they just clack right on and off. So very easy to take on and off or swap out the ear cups. So for instance, if you want to get extra ear cups to actually swap out the look of these, you can actually do that. Like if I want to get red ear cups or blue ear cups for these, I can do that just for $69 and just easily put them on. So that's really kind of cool. Apple has really demonstrated that they're creating an ecosystem with this whole platform of the AirPods Max. You can just tell that they have built these to last, and eventually they might have, you know, firmware updates or software updates that'll even enhance these further. But I think for a first foray into over-the-ear headphones for Apple, these are really tops. I mean, it's pretty impressive that this is like their first generation of over-ear headphones, and yet they're this good. You know, just picking these up, putting these on, you really do get a sense of quality with these headphones for sure. One other slight negative I found with these is I don't really feel too comfortable putting them on a headphone stand, because the headband has this mesh part right here that's a little bit bouncy. So when you put it on your head, it provides a real good comfort across the top of your head. It's almost like a comfort strap right here, which is a great design. However, putting these like on a headphone stand will actually make that mesh part kind of compress a bit, because the headphones are resting on that. And I think over time I might prematurely wear that comfort, you know, part of the headphone strap. So when I store these, I'm not storing them on a headphone stand or anything. I'm just storing them flat, you know, like on a shelf or something like that, or in a drawer. And that's one negative to note. The other sort of slight negative is the buttons and dials are on the top of the ear cup. I may have preferred them on a side or on the bottom actually. Having them be on the top means you have to be a little bit careful when you're adjusting these. Like you put them on your head and you don't want to press like this because you're pressing the buttons, you know, when you adjust the size of them. So you want to kind of grab them like this on the side and adjust them like that. So that's something to be aware of. It's very easy to accidentally press the buttons. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything if you do, but you will be changing settings if you accidentally press these buttons. And then speaking of pressing these buttons, I actually have to do this once, but to factory reboot these, you would actually just hold down the digital crown and this button here for a few seconds until the LED on the bottom of the ear cup glows amber, I believe, and that'll actually reboot these. And I did run into a situation where I had to do that because I lost sync between my devices, and I for some reason could not get it synced up again until I rebooted them. So that's how you can factory kind of reset these. And so speaking of that, you do have the digital crown on top here, and that's like a digital volume control, but it turns here. There's no tactile feedback on it though, so it's just loose. But I kind of like that. So if you are listening to these and you want to adjust the volume real quick, you can just reach up there and, you know, turn that to adjust the volume, which is really nice. And then the button here will activate things like transparency and noise canceling mode. That'll turn that on and off. Also, the digital crown itself is a button as well, and that's how you'll stop the music or start the music, you know, or skip forward and things like that. So all in all, it's just a really great industrial design, and I think it looks really cool. In terms of, you know, wireless noise canceling headphones, I think the AirPods Max are some of the coolest looking for sure. Now let's talk about the AirPods Max sound. How do they sound? I think they actually sound really quite good. Apple has done a great job with the sound signature of them in creating what I would call a fun sound signature. It's very engaging, it's quite bass heavy, and in fact if you're listening to bass heavy tracks like hip hop, these are really going to boom. It's almost like you've got a subwoofer in there. So that's really going to please a lot of people. Some people may not like that much bass, some people might think it's a little bit too much bass, but I think for what they're trying to accomplish here with like a consumer over-the-ear headphone, they've done a very good job. They sound very similar to the AirPods Pro if you have that or if you're familiar with those. It's the same, very similar sound signature. Just everything is amped up a little bit more with these. The bass is a little bit better. The mids are a little bit better and more engaging, and also, you know, the highs and the sort of sound stage and wideness of the sound stage is also a little bit better with the AirPods Max versus the AirPods Pro. So, you know, it's a very fun and engaging sound signature for sure. I have no complaints with it at all. I don't feel like I need to EQ these at all. Just from stock, the stock EQ is perfectly fine. So that's really a plus in terms of how these sound. I think they sound really good. And then also these have Apple's spatial audio technology, which is really awesome if you're familiar with that. Also the AirPods Pro have that. So if you're listening to something on the Apple TV Plus app, like for instance a movie, it has like a pseudo surround sound effect, which is really quite impressive. And it uses the gyroscopes in here so that when you turn your head back and forth, you know, it's actually making the sound come from the screen a little bit better and sort of localizing that sound. And that's really impressive. I have been very impressed with that. You really owe it to yourself to give that a try using the Apple TV app and some of their content, because the spatial audio feature is really awesome and it's great for movie watching. The noise canceling on these is also really good. It's some of the best I've heard. It really does cancel out a lot of the background noise really, really well. And also I hear no hissing or anything like that. Like some noise canceling headphones, when you're not playing any music and you activate the noise cancellation, you'll hear kind of like a hissing sound. With these, I really have to struggle to hear any hissing at all. So then we come to the question of, are the Apple AirPods Max audiophile headphones? Well, no, they are not audiophile headphones, and the reason for that is because they are wireless headphones. And as of this video right now, the wireless technology does not even transmit lossless CD quality audio. It's always going to be less than that. So for that reason, these aren't considered audiophile headphones in my opinion. They just can't even do CD quality. So even if you play a CD quality file or even a high-res file on your iPhone or iPad or something and listen to that with these headphones, it is going to down convert to an AAC audio file, a less than lossless audio file, when you use these wirelessly. So in that respect, they're not audiophile headphones, but you know, for the vast majority of people out there, that's not really going to matter. They just want headphones that sound decent enough, and you know, they're not quote-unquote audiophiles. So for the vast majority of people, these are going to sound perfectly fine, especially if they're just using something like Apple Music, which isn't even CD quality, or like Spotify or something like that. You know, that's what the vast majority of people are going to be listening to, and for that purpose, these headphones are just perfectly fine and probably one of the best choices that you can get. Now, Apple does sell a $35 audio cable that you can get for this that is a Lightning to 3.5 millimeter audio cable that will plug right into this if you want to use these wired. And in that respect, you might be able to get a little bit better quality because you're bypassing the wireless on this. But in another respect, it's maybe still not quite audiophile quality, because if you plug these into a source that's a 3.5 millimeter source, let's say, for instance, a really good, nice DAC like a Core Hugo 2, you're taking that great analog audio out and you're reconverting that analog audio signal back into a digital signal for these. And these have a built-in DAC already. And this built-in DAC on these is probably not going to be as good as your audiophile DAC that you're plugging into with that wired cable. So really what you're doing in that respect, if you plug these in with a wired cable, is you're using two DACs. You're kind of unnecessarily converting digital audio to analog first, and then converting that analog audio back into digital audio to go into these AirPod Max headphones. So in some respects, you know, it kind of doesn't really make sense to do that, at least in my opinion. So in the end, would I recommend the Apple AirPods Max headphones? Well, I would say that if you're looking for wireless noise canceling headphones, I think these are the ones to get if you're willing to spend a little bit more money. I mean, you do get more R&D with the Apple AirPods Max than you do over like other headphones. You do get the spatial audio feature, which is really, really nice, and the just design and build quality of this is really a cut above than something like from the Sonys or from the Bose. And I think the sound quality and the noise cancellation and all that is also better as well. So yeah, I can definitely recommend these. However, if you already have the Apple AirPods Pro and are perfectly happy with them and don't mind having something in your ear, then perhaps you don't really need these, because these do sound very, very similar to the AirPods Pro. And you know, the AirPods Pro Pro do have some benefits over the AirPods Max in that they're lightweight and you don't really feel them go anywhere with them. And you know, they're very comfortable if you don't mind having something in your ear. I personally prefer the AirPods Max just because I don't generally like having something in my ear, like earpods or you know, IEMs or anything, you know, in-ear monitors or anything like that. So when given the choice between the two, I would generally grab the AirPods Max first, you know, over something like the AirPods Pro. AirPods Pro I can wear for maybe about an hour before they sort of feel uncomfortable in my ear, whereas the AirPods Max I can wear for a few hours before I feel like I need to take them off or anything like that. I mean, they're just very comfortable to wear. And here's how they look on. And as you can see, they look pretty cool. I mean, they're just one of the best looking headphones out there on the market, I think. So Apple did a very good job in terms of that. So this has been my look at the Apple AirPods Max in Space Gray. For community discussion, I'll see you in the comments field, and for pricing and availability, see the description field of this video. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button, that way you can be notified anytime I post a new video. See you in my next video.